Welcome to yet another amazing Master Pairings with Dr. Bill. And what are you feeding me today?
Well, today let's talk about the beer first.
Fine.
We have a fabulous American-style porter, Deschutes Black Butte.
This actually is one of the very first craft beers I got into.
Yeah. The Black Butte is just an amazing beer. Has great roasted malt notes. It's just really well balanced and goes with a lot of great food. The caramelization in the malts plays great with the caramelization on grilled meats.
Oh, okay.
And the meat I chose today
It's big.
is Porterhouse steak.
Oh.
Do you know why they got the name Porterhouse steak?
Because they were portly and lived in a house? No?
No.
Okay.
Steaks are made to be drunk with beer in America. That's how historically they have always been accompanied.
Really?
Sure, I could have a great big cab with a steak and enjoy it, but there's a reason why this cut of meat was called the Porterhouse, because it was in porter steakhouses that served porter beers. Porterhouses are named after restaurant, bars, or pubs that served a steak and porter.
That's really interesting. I never knew that. That's
So that's actually where
totally
the term
cool.
of that term came from. And so that's going to pair really lovely with this. I also caramelized some great mushrooms and sweet onions, so that's going to be fabulous.
Let me quote Homer Simpson.
A great cheese that I paired was aged Gruyere, which goes really well with porters also.
Awesome.
And then we have some little decadent chocolatey caramel
Oh, yes. They
dessert that's
look
just going to be
amazing.
fabulous.
They're called Big Mouths. So I think there's some Rice Krispie treats in there with some marshmallow and
Rice Krispie treats.
yeah, there's some Rice Krispie in there and there's some marshmallow and some caramel and
The good news is porter will go great with all that.
all right, right on.
So it'll rock either way.
I love the smell of Deschutes beers. All of Deschutes beers have such a great aroma.
So they have a terroir, but the terroir is actually in beer terminology. It's their house yeast, and so their house yeast.
Oh,
You're picking that up, and they just make great, well-crafted beers.
yeah, I'm a big, huge fan of Deschutes. So
So you get that roasted malt,
a little bit of the
you
coffee.
get all kind of roasted malt, a little dog barking, and it's just really good.
Yeah, you get the coffee notes, you get the chocolate off of that.
Big, round,
Yeah.
chocolate coffee, lovely. Even though in Europe they have cheese for dessert, we're going to start with cheese. It's nice.
Gruyere is
creamy.
it's one of my favorite cheeses, just because it's a very, very well balanced, very smooth, easy to eat cheese.
It's a great meltable cheese too.
It's very earthy, but it has a strong flavor to it that matches up with the porter.
Well, notice how the porter changes slightly with the cheese? Brings out that
Oh, yeah.
caramel notes. Caramel, caramel.
It's much
Caramel.
caramel.
Yes.
And this is an cave aged Gruyere, so it's got some crystallization to it. It's a little bit more. It's got a little bit of that more salty
Definitely.
flavor to it.
Let's not mess around. This
This will be my half, and this will also be my half.
Now, how do you like your steak?
I like my steak rare.
Good. Because that's how I like to cook this particular cut. It's been resting for quite a bit.
Well, the longer you cook a steak, the more flavor leaves of it. So I mean, the rarer the steak is, the more flavor you're going to get out of
The
it.
key with the great steak that I feel is getting it really, really hot heat, whether you're using a cast iron pan or a grill, depending where you live and what you can use, kind of whether it is outside, that kind of thing. And the key is getting that instant caramelization and then getting that nice crust and then that beautiful pink
Yeah, it's very nice.
color there. So I'll let you attack that. I'm going to go over on this side.
Come to me, my pretty.
See how we're doing.
Oh yeah.
This is just a match made in heaven right here. The caramelization on the steak just comes out, and the porter is just simply
Amazing.
amazing.
Yeah. I'm having a hard time verbalizing this because it is just it's kind of hitting me in a way that I haven't been hit recently with a food pairing, and it's just It meshes so perfectly.
Now try a little onions and mushrooms with it. It's going to bring a whole new level to it. It's just a fabulous, fabulous pairing. Any type is.
Sam, up.
We have a special guest. He says he likes.
This is our brew dog, Sam.
What do you think? That works. He likes it.
All right, it's time for dessert.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
So there's your fork.
Yes, there is.
Just thrown on the heap there. So yeah, this looks pretty interesting. Pretty decadent.
Oh, you melted it nicely.
Yes. That's unctuous.
I like that word.
That's a great word. This has you umami. Mm-hmm. This is unctuous.
Oh my God. Now, see, this is what amazes me. Like, you can sit down at a dinner, and in America we have the cheese first. Cheese, like a cheese plate as your appetizer, have this beer. Get a nice steak, have this beer. Nice chocolate dessert, have this. This beer just works perfectly for this entire meal.
This beer runs the gambit of this. I like to actually go out and bring different beers for different courses, but you know, that's a little over the top.
Right.
But you can easily have this beer at a steakhouse, and it's just amazing. And you can't go wrong, and the pairings are great.
Oh my God.
And I told
Sorry. Excuse me while I have a foodgasm.
this is beer porn.
Yeah.
Food porn right here, not beer.
This, I think, is by far, I mean, we've had some pretty decadent and amazing food pairings, but this one has worked the most perfectly for me.
There's not a lot wrong with this.
I mean, and personally, for me, like, I'm getting a lot of the memories that I had of this beer from 12 years ago when I lived in Portland, and just how much I love this beer. And yay! Sorry. So anyway, this has been another amazing master pairing. So thank you, Bill, and I am going to devour
Cheers.
this steak. Cheers.
Boom.